What's up, y'all? My name is SoFarSoRay. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to get notified with all new updates as I post. Today, we're going to talk about lust, you know, fornication, sexual immorality, doubt, grace, righteousness, and self righteousness. All these many different topics that we deal with in life. Lust is such a powerful weapon of the enemy of the kingdom. Lust is what drives society, whether you are lusting after material possessions, you are lusting or coveting after something that somebody else have, whether it's a car, a home, style, relationship, career. Lust often drives and destroys people on a day-to-day basis. You also have lust dealing with the physical body because the flesh wants to sin. The lust will never be fulfilled. The flesh will always go after it, seeking it more and more and more on a day-to-day. So what you see as lust from a sexual standpoint, a physical standpoint of attraction, wanting to engage in whether it's a sexual immoral act or just the imagination itself. The fact that the thought lives in your head gives it space to exist and manifest in this reality. So when it comes to lust, we have to reflect and control our thoughts and keep our mind clear, because that's when the enemy comes in with the lust, or that's when we give over to our willful sin, to our flesh, and we go out and enact that. So when it comes to lust, the marine kingdom is one of Lucifer's, Satan, Baal, whatever name you want to go by, identifying that force of darkness. Marine kingdom is of the aquatic. In the book of Genesis, God took the waters and divided them into two, put one up in the firmament, one down in this world. So the marine kingdom is a very powerful, expansive principality overall that we have to deal with. It's a big body, just like this world is covered in so much water. Our bodies are filled with water. You know, you get baptized and you get cleansed in water. When you're having sex or you're exchanging energies, it's through fluids. Once again, water. Understanding the depth and the importance behind the water. Your blood has water in it. What's behind me? Water. So we got to be mindful and understand how important it is dealing with lust and the principalities of the aquatic or of the waters. God separated the waters in two. The firmament is up and out there. You know, that's where scientists like to talk about traveling, going with spaceships or, spacecraft. But it's a barrier. It's a barrier. The firmament is a barrier between this domain and the heavenlies. And since there are two bodies of water, the principalities operate in this domain and in the heavenly higher places upward. So we have to deal with the warfare of the spirits of lust. The spirits of lust may come through people, just like you got Jezebel, you got Delilah. You know, from biblical canonical, you have the situation with Jezebel and Ahab. She wanted to rule over him, which she did. She operated out of sexual energy. She operated out of masculine energy, just like we see in today's society dealing with relationships and the dating culture. And, you know, Jezebel and Ahab is a representation of what we got going on in today's society, which is why the culture is so duped. Just like you have Samson and Delilah. Once again, another biblical canonical. Delilah was a trickster. She also was someone that came to Samson through his lust. He laid in bed. She always came to see him. They always, laid together. She asked him different type of questions. In other words, he was pillow talking. She was trying to figure out his weakness. Eventually, he gave in. Then he gave her what she needed. And from there, you can see how the lust started to destroy him. She used what was between her legs or her physique and things of that nature to belittle him and destroy him overall. So where we are in today's society, you see that a lot. And not only, you see it for men, You see it for women as well, but you see a lot of men get destroyed over women. You can see the man, you see two men getting into it over a woman. People have passed away because of situations dealing with women. It's not necessarily just the woman aspect, but it's the spirit itself. Because like I say, it can be the same thing. You got two women going at it over a man. And you have many different situations where that occurred too. That takes it back to the lust. It takes it back to the sexual immorality and the perversion of the fact that things that are being done outside of, you know, actual covenant, actual covenant, the binding between two souls. You have operations where we are connected and binding with others through lust and sexual immorality. You lust with your eyes, it has been in your heart. Thus far, it comes manifest. So we have to be mindful of lust. I've fallen short many times dealing with lust, sexual immorality, just fornicating and doing things outside of the will of God. We have to understand what sex and the conjoining of two really is. It's the consummation. This is something that really binds two together under oath, under agreement. So if you out here doing a practice, which is really a spiritual practice, if we out here doing spiritual practices of consummation, of conjoining of the two through sex with people that we don't actually go under covenant with, as in a wife or a husband, that's how you bind and have soul ties with one another through the spirit of lust. And that's how you open up the doors for spiritual spouses, spiritual husbands, spiritual wives. These are entities that operate in the spirit that can join with you, and you be married to them. Then they will affect the relationships that you have in life. They will literally deter, destroy every time you want to connect with somebody because you're already married in the spirit. Married in the spirit through the perversions and the things that we've done through the lust, such as, like I say, sexual immorality, whether it's masturbation, fornication, and just lusting with your eyes, because we can literally lust with our eyes and create some type of connection through that alone, because the door is now being open from the fact that we want to indulge in it. It's a willful sin. So being mindful of the big warfare that the enemy uses in society. You see it in the culture. You see it through the women that are being portrayed as mainstream, such as the Glorillas, Sexy Red, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Lil Kim, Foxy Brown. We see it through so many different figures being promoted to push the perversion on the masses as a programming to influence, especially the young ones coming up, those that were young in the era when they were doing what they doing and saw them as role models and grew up to become the women of today, the 304s, whatever representation they carried. It all goes back to that same spirit of lust. That spirit of lust is running the music industry, the entertainment industry. When you go outside and what you see around, the fashion industry, clothes are getting more skimpier. Just like you got men as well. It's everything is being more revealing because lust works off the opposition of modesty. Us being modest in how we carry ourselves would deflect the lust. And that's just from an appearance standpoint. Like I say, if you're dealing with sexual immorality, that's an appearance standpoint. But lust goes much further than just sex. Lust goes much further than just, an attraction between two. Lust is simply yearning and wanting for something that, could compromise who you are, could put you in a worse situation. It's coveting over things that is not yours, that may be someone else's. You might be a man that's coveting and lusting over another man's wife. And that's something that we are not to do. It creates so much spiritual warfare overall. So understanding lust and getting back to the marine kingdom. The marine kingdom, such as, like I said, I stated a few. You got siren, mermaid spirits. You got octopus, kraken, squid, all these different spirits. Not the actual animal itself, but the spirit behind it. When you're dealing with the spiritual realm, you're dealing with spiritual things, you start to see how animals and creations and creatures and things of that nature are being represented and utilized, rather a physical manifestation, embodiment, or in the spirit. You got to be mindful because, like I say, when you're dealing with the lust in the marine kingdom, they will manifest. First, it starts in the spirit. So you might go to sleep. You know, you've been trying to steer away, especially when you want to get away from your sin. You want to get away from always fornicating and masturbating, watching porn, stuff like that. You want to get away from it. So the enemy will come in your dreams. The enemy will come in your sleep. The enemy will come through astral projection. The enemy will come in so many different ways to affect you in the spirit so that it come forth in the material world. You might be somebody, like I said, got away from the corn, got away from the addiction, got away from doing this, doing that. And it's kind of like having withdrawals. Not only are you having withdrawals because your flesh wants to, your flesh wants to sin. It wants to lust, it wants to fulfill it, even though it never will be fulfilled. You still will have that temptation because you fell short and went in agreement in the spirit. So that which have been tethered to you to come and affect you in the spirit has legal right. So now that the spirit has legal right, or a demonic entity has legal right within your life to operate through the lust, it will now manifest starting in your dreams. It might manifest coming into your room, sleep paralysis. You might be attacked through sleep paralysis. And God will reveal to you and show you, like, this is the enemy. The thing is, what can you do about it if the enemy has already got right passage from the Most High through willful sin to come into your life and destroy you? I know from personal experience, it's a heavy one. You get attacked, man. When it comes to lust and the spirits of the marine kingdom, they will come and swap your destiny, take your life's purpose. They will drain you of your essence, so that way you are left with nothing else. You will be shameful. You will lose out on having the energy to carry yourself on a day-to-day basis to do better things in life. You will lose your vision and your mental clarity will become a lot more foggier because that lust, it will take over the mind. Lust is such a powerful weapon in the kingdom of darkness. It's what started it all, dealing with the flesh, falling short from temptation, lust, coveting, rebellion, so many things that make us be here now in such a fallen state. The question is, how can we get back to elevating? How can we operate overcoming the lust? That's a battle for all of us in this world, in this society, on a day-to-day basis. I believe the best way to combat is to seek deliverance, to pray, to fast, to find other things to do with our idle time, because we don't want to give the devil a place to come and operate within our life and destroy us because we have nothing going on. We have our hands completely empty and waiting for the enemy to fall right in it. It's like when you take something out, when you fast from something, when you Lent, you go through Lent, you remove, we got to bring something else in. Just like in scripture, talking about the unclean spirits that leave a person, leave a place, seeking a place of rest and find nothing in a place of dryness, and returns back to the home to find it clean, swept, and brings back with it 7 spirits worse than the ones before. It's like that space was empty. You got to fill it up. We need to fill it up with the Ruach HaKodesh, with the Holy Spirit. We need to fill it up with consistent study, worship, prayer, fasting. And it's a lot of work. It is not easy. It is not easy. It is not easy. So many challenges I've had in life. The hardest challenge for me has been dealing with the lust. But I'm here to tell you that you can do it. I can do it. We all can do it. We can all overcome and continue to move forward in this walk without giving all our power over to the enemy.